Welcome to another edition of Maryland's Missing and the Murdered. I am Kara Stone, and this week we delve into the sad murder of Cami Ring in Port Deposit, Maryland. Before we go any further, please note that this episode is not for the younger audience, as it involves rape and murder of a 10-year-old little girl. This story can also be triggering to some, so please be advised. Cami Ring was born on February 18, 2003. In 2010, she was 10 years old who had just finished the 4th grade on the honor roll with perfect attendance. Cami lived with her mother, stepdad, brother, and sister in Charlestown, Maryland. Cami had received the Johns Hopkins Award for academic excellence. She enjoyed singing along to Taylor Swift music and playing the violin. Cami would go to the Boys and Girls Club after school, where she enjoyed the many activities they provided. Her friends thought of her as funny and that she loved to climb. On the weekend in early June 2010, Cami spent time at her grandparents' home in Port Deposit, Maryland. Cynthia and Walter Clark were not Cami's actual grandparents, but Cami thought of them as they were her own. Cynthia and Walter Clark shared their home with Cynthia's son, Richard Madden. Richard Madden was 29 and worked at a local Denny's restaurant. He had several run-ins with the law and was trying to get his life on track after being released from prison on theft charges. During the morning of June 10, 2010, the Clarks witnessed Richard Madden doing laundry, something that he never did. When asked what he was doing, he responded that he was washing his Denny's uniform. It was at that time when the Clarks discovered Cami was missing. The window in the room where she had slept in was open. The Clarks searched for Cami, and eventually they called the police. Many neighbors helped search for Cami. During the search, Richard Madden posted on Facebook that, quote, "My niece is missing," end quote. A neighbor, Charlotte Dillon, went to look for Cami in the brushes. However, Richard Madden stopped her, explaining, quote, "The baby wouldn't go in the briar bushes," end quote. 8 hours after Cami was reported missing, the police found her body 60 yards from the Clarks' home. Cami's body was found in the brush, where Charlotte Dillon was looking earlier in the day, but was stopped by Richard Madden. Cami was found laying face down in the brush, wearing only a tank top. There was a shoelace between her legs. The crime scene was processed, and an autopsy found that Cami died from a wound to her neck, blunt force trauma, and asphyxia. There was also evidence of rape. Semen was collected from Cami's body, and DNA was ran. The Clarks and Richard Madden were questioned immediately, and a search of the house took place. Tennis shoes belonging to Richard Madden were missing shoelaces, which matched to the shoelace found near Cami's body. During the search of the home, the police found marijuana and cocaine in Richard Madden's room, and he was arrested for possession. During questioning, he had scratches on his chest for which he could not explain. Richard Madden agreed to take a polygraph and failed it, according to the Cecil Whig newspaper. When DNA from the semen found on Cami's body matched to Richard Madden, he was arrested for 1st and 2nd degree murder, 1st degree rape, child abuse, and 1st degree assault. He was held on no bond. In March 2014, prosecutors advised the judge that they had a written confession from Richard Madden. The prosecutors obtained this written confession from a jailhouse informant with the initials DV. DV claimed that Madden had confessed to the murder and had written a letter outlining the events of the murder and also drew a layout of his house. The prosecutors advised the defense team that they were preparing for DV to testify. The defense challenged the credibility of DV, calling him a, quote, habitual snitch, end quote, so the trial was postponed until investigators could examine the validity of the written confession. The confession was given to forensic investigators who matched them to previous things that Madden had written. The judge then ruled that DV could testify. The trial was postponed yet again after Madden's defense team attempted to file an insanity plea in October 2014. But after evaluation, psychiatrists determined that Madden was competent to stand trial. With the trial date looming in September 2015, Madden and his attorneys decided to enter an Alford plea to first-degree murder as part of a plea deal. An Alford plea means that Madden maintains his innocence but acknowledges that there is enough evidence for a conviction. As part of this deal, the rape, sex offense, and child abuse charges were dropped. Richard Madden was sentenced to life behind bars, with all but 67 years suspended. He will not be eligible for parole until he serves half his sentence. At that time, Richard Madden will be 67 years old. During the court proceedings, Madden's mother, Cynthia Clark, spoke. She told her son, quote, I loved you, but you've taken that away, end quote. She vowed to never visit him in prison and that he was no longer her son. On June 17, 2013, over 150 people attended Cammie Ring's funeral. Her friends remembered her as someone who always stood up for kids being picked on and was nice to everyone. The Ring family has set up a Cammie Ring Scholarship Fund through the Boys and Girls Club of Cecil County. Thank you for joining me this week. If you would like to get in touch with me, please email me at marylandmissing@gmail.com. Sources are listed here, and I will see you again.